People should realize that I have actually got my old mic back. Crazy, I know. I am very quickly going to set up the announcement post. And then we'll get going at 10 past on the dot. Hello, Rupee. How are you doing? Hello, Dika. I'm just setting up the esports, the announcement to make sure that everyone in the server's got it. Is my mic okay, by the way? It's gone back to the old one, so I think it should be fine, but I am double checking regardless. Am I too loud or too quiet? I'd rather be too quiet, but yeah, mic is good. Brilliant. Brilliant. Right, that announcement will go live when I am when we get X90G's stream up. But for now, welcome everyone. I'm early for once, believe it or not. It's incredible, isn't it? It's incredible. I'm early, and the settings are right. I don't really know what is happening. You know what? Because everyone's been moaning at me for it, I'll finally do it. I'll give in. There you go. Save the settings, just because I don't get screamed at 30 times a week. We've got the 3 Project Platypus drivers in here at the moment, BX, Snipes, and Skyline. We have Catfish, Alessandro, and Javi in at the moment as well. That's 3 for Arix. Then we've got Millis, Rabak, and Aura all in for FGR, which means we are waiting on Falcon and Dino Company. They've got 7 minutes to be in here. We are doing it 10 minutes late today because special requirements for Catfish. Let him do what he needs to do before we get started. Which seems like a fair objection, a fair thing to do. Let the guy have the chance to do what he needs to do before we get going. Shouldn't last too long for the rest of us. But yeah, we've got a lot of A+ drivers in here. There's 6 A+ drivers in here before we even get started with qualifying. And we still have Dino, Jensen, and I think it's Syndra to join us. So this is going to be one stacked lobby for qualifying, quite literally. All these teams, I believe it's separated by 13 points. I am going to double check that real quick. Pretty sure it is 13 points between the group. Go past the thing. Yeah, it's 15, sorry. 15 split. Arix in first on 113 and Falcon in fourth on 98. It's only 43 going further back to Arix in fifth. So they're not Arix, sorry, Aero GT in fifth. So they're not exactly out of that either. A long way to go yet. Bearing in mind, for those who are new here or haven't really had the chance to get grips with the with the format, we do 6 races where we are split into 2 different lobbies, and then race 7 and 8 will be the top 5 teams in the league going at it to try and win the entire tournament in the final 2 races of the season. So this is technically halfway through the season for the first slot, the elimination phase, and then we'll say goodbye to 3 teams, and from then we will continue on to see if we can crown a champion. I'm going to tag Dino to figure out where his guys are. There you go. I've tagged Dino. I'm waiting on a thing from X90G to tell me that his stream is good. Rabak will leave everyone in his dust. Is that because he's going to put people into the wall this time, or... Oh, actually, no, it was our teammates, wasn't it? Yes, I am going to be making those jokes all season. I am going to be doing that. You're just going to have to put up with it. Aero GT just had a last-minute change because Hurricane has been too busy drowning in Wembley celebrations because he has been with Oldham all day. That's fair enough. Welcome to the 10 people who have joined us. We are starting at 10 past, so 3 minutes time. I need to make sure that people are joining us. I am just sorting out the second bit as well. That's lobby B. Okay, so that means we got both of those up. I could take the YouTube link out of that and put in the announcement YouTube link and get that set off. Is this how it feels to feel organized on a Sunday night? Dino is in. Just picking it. Yeah, Dino's in. That's good news. That looks like Jensen. We're 2 minutes away from starting. There's Jensen. That's good news. So we've got 11 drivers in here so far. Saying Syndra's typing at the moment. So he's going to be here in a minute. So we should be able to go at 10 past on the dot. Look at this. Hopefully everyone is organised. I am actually as organised as I'm ever actually going to be. Hello, Slim. Eric's, yeah, at the top of the... Eric's at the top of the table after 2 rounds. It's not what I expected, to be honest with you. I expected this to be a 2-horse race between Falcon and FGR. I ain't complaining with a 4-way fight for everything. Hello, Ryan. Why are we starting so late? Because we gave everyone a chance to actually, you know, we actually decided to be inclusive, Capel. Believe it or not. Imagine. Right. Alright. That's everyone in. So, oh my. And that's the leader of the league, everyone. That's the owner of the league. That's how everything is. Right. So it is 10 past. I'll put the start in soon. Oh my god, my voice gave out there. Jesus Christ. I did say we'd be starting at 10 past on the dot. Just put that in very quickly. We are going to get going in a split second here. They were all given a very advanced warning to get their shit together. They actually do. They do have a good livery. Right, let's get going. No one pointed out any settings mistakes, so I think we're good. The FGR dudes are pretty good. They actually are pretty chill. I did have a warning with a couple of them at the end of last season, but they are pretty chill. Hello, EA. Alright, there's there with the klaxon there to start qualifying. We are off at round 3. Let's see who got out first. So BX is going to be the one that outs first. Who isn't like? I have no idea. I hope everyone likes the stream and everything like that. Honestly, I enjoy doing these on a weekend. You peep your new liveries. Let's see if we can see them for our fun in the dark. So, Eric, the Javi doesn't look too different from last week, I don't think. Maybe I'm about to get absolutely slandered for that. What about Alessandro? Oh yeah, Alessandro. Okay, so everyone's gone to. Okay, so everyone's gone to what Javi had. Ah, makes sense. I actually do like it. I do like it. Right, BX is the first one out then. He's Project Platypus driver. And then we've got Javi and Aura after that. I'm not entirely sure what we're expecting in terms of pole position times here. Quite frankly, I'm not entirely sure he has I actually have a lot of knowledge about this track whatsoever. It's been a while since we actually drove this track on Mondays, which is the one I drive in. I am not quick enough to be involved in this series by any means. It won't be too far away from that. I think it might actually be a little bit quicker than that, actually. To be honest with you. It might be a little bit quicker than that 32.5. I think, yeah, about to say, I was going to say 32.0, maybe quicker, slightly quicker than that. Right, here we go. BX going through the first lap then. He's in the middle of the first sector, or Javi right behind him. 23.5 in the first sector. That is... Well, we're not going to get a good comparison compared to Javi. We're just going to have to deal with what we've got for now. Yamagiwa, so Yamagiwa had the difference in the track. This is where the track would usually split into Miyabi as well. But Yamagiwa goes off to the left and brings in a little chicane along with it, which is actually one of the most... fun part of the tracks in my opinion. Obviously most of the track is these long-winded left-handers. You can see the entire way through. But they also had that little chicane and you can carry a lot of speed through if you get it right. You're going to get away with a lot of grass and that as well. The X might have got a bit too deep there! Oh, yeah, I think that's a bit too deep. Anytime he was reasonably going to set may have just fallen by the wayside. Just ever so slightly. That's the first mistake of the afternoon that we've seen on this stream. So, 31, 32, 33, 0 to start with. Then Javi, 32, 3, an entire second quicker. Aura the next one to the line, 32, 0. Another 3/10 of a second tapped on that. Skyline Snatch beats BX, but no one else. Skyline looked like he had a little bit of a mare there as well. Millis did a 32-2 on his return. 32-7 for Rabak. 32-6 for Dyna. 32-0-0-7 is enough for Jensen to be on pole position right now. 33-0 for Alessandro. 33-0 for Syndra. Catfish the next one to the line here. The only one not yet to have done a lap in qualifying as he goes toward the line now. And he is going to do a 33.5. He's probably going to have to find some time there. Let's have a look. So BX is obviously the next one. Let's get a look at Millis. So Millis has taken 2 races off as far as I'm aware. As far as I'm aware, he had the last couple of, or the last race off at the very least. Everything just went to the wayside in the second and third driver slot for FGR last week. Yes, can we have the lobby B times as we continue on? It's just nice to have a little bit of a comparator to go with. I very much only have the YouTube live stream for this one open just in case I miss any comments. Because I do like interacting with chat as well, and everyone probably knows that by now, unless it's your first time joining us, in which welcome. Hope you stick around. We go to the line now. Here comes Millis. I believe that's BX potentially in front of him. no improvement there, but it is an improvement for Millis, but it's only 28 thousandths of a second, and that's only good enough to bring him within just over 2/10 of Aura. Pits for Dino, pits for Rabak and Alessandro as well. Aura is stayed out. Jensen is on a very slow lap, so Jensen's heading into the pits. Aura's currently on a lap. Let's see if we got anything else to look at here. BX came out into the pits. Everyone else went into the pits. So we are very much watching Aura at this point in time. Figure out what Aura can do on this lap. Aura very much coined to the unluckiest driver in ALR at this point. The amount of time this man gets to the front. Oh, you're Super GT? Really? I didn't recognize that name. I'm not entirely sure. I'll take a look at Catfish in a minute once we finish with Aura's lap. Here we go, Aura. Yeah, I just didn't recognize the YouTube name, that's my bad. Here we go, looking toward the line. Let's see if there's an improvement in this for Aura. Yeah, long time no see there, Super GT. And then Aura into the pits. That gives us a very nice chance to take a look at what Catfish is doing, and the likelihood is that he is looking to burn as much fuel as he can. Yeah, he is. He's burning as much fuel as he can get rid of. Okay, so this is he's gonna get one shot at this then. He's done his 33.5. You're gonna have to find a second and a half from somewhere. I don't think this is probably gonna be his attempt at doing it. Outlap still for basically everyone. Let's go further forward. BX is one of the drivers here. Good. That didn't good at all. Jesus. That was a bit of a slide there from BX. Apologies for muting my mic for a split second there. I started sneezing like a madman. But yeah, we will go on board with Catfish for his attempt in a minute. Are you coming to the line now? Yeah, we'll go on board with Catfish. I don't know who he's got in front of him. Not entirely sure the car that is currently in front of him, but it looks like that is an that's a Falcon driver, sorry. The green of Falcon on the car in front. So these two are going together. We're going to watch this from Catfish's perspective though, because this is going to be realistically his main lap, this and one more afterwards potentially. He's currently 3/10 of a second off on his best lap, so he's currently currently on target for 33.1. Not better. Okay to give teammates. Yeah, it's a team game, completely team game. You're allowed to do whatever. You're allowed to do mostly whatever you want in terms of the team game, without as long as you're not endangering someone else. In the process. 32.5 for Rabak, 32.6 for Syndra, 33.2 for Skyline. The updates on the time in this lobby. Skyline's 10th, and the other two are higher than the top 8 right now. Bear in mind the top 14 times go into this lobby. The next the next 10 drop underneath. So right now he's looking for 32.7. 32.7 is where we're looking at with Catfish right now. I think that will take him to roughly where Rabak is. 2-3 stops. Yeah, the tires will get destroyed around here. It's just a case of how much they want to go for it. Here comes Catfish to the line. 32.5. That's good enough for top 5 right now. I'm not entirely sure what that was there in front. I think that might have been Jensen. It was Jensen. 31.8. Improvement there for Jensen. That is a very good lap for Jensen in particular. Catfish on the board as well. Over to the line now, looking to try and improve on his 32.0. Trying to get himself as close to Jensen as he can, and he got within half a tenth at 31.8. for Aura as well. 32.5 for Snipes has beaten Catfish and put him up in a 5th. Millis is just ever so slightly outside of that 32, that 31. That is extremely unfortunate there for Millis as he tries to get himself into the 31s. 33.1 for Skyline is not good enough to put him into the top 8 up to this point. Javi's still going as well, 5 tenths of a second off of the lead. So right now we've got Falcon followed by FGR and then FGR at 1, 2, 3. And that is it for Jensen on this. Oh, Javi off the track! Javi off the track! And there goes any chance at pole. And there's the penalty to boot. Oh, that is an awful time to get a penalty. Awful time to get a penalty there if you're Javi. Jensen went to pit, so his qualifying's over. 32, not an improvement for Catfish, so he's not going to get anywhere. Rabak didn't go over with time. So we are now looking at the final 5 to get a lap. Javi's got a penalty. Snipes is here as well. It doesn't look like Snipes is doing anything because he's got a penalty. Let's see if we can find whoever else is trying to finish off their lap. BX is one of those drivers that are coming to the line. That looks like an FGR driver ahead. Is that Millis or is that Aura? Aura is actually coming to the line, looking for pole. Doesn't get it. And Millis as well, looking for an improvement on his 31 to 32.0. Doesn't get that either. With BX to the line last. 32.4 is good enough for 5th. And a good enough for Lobby A participation in this one. And there's no improvement from the guy at the back. I think the Snipes with a penalty anyway. And that leaves Jensen with pole position. Jensen with pole position. Skyline is fast last with a 33.1 in this lobby. And look at that. I think if they haven't done much improvement in Lobby B, then all 12 of these drivers will be continuing on in this lobby. We'll take a look in a minute. But Jensen, 31.8, half a tenth of a second ahead of Aura. And we are back. We are back to where we were in round 1 at Monza. Jensen, followed by Aura, followed by Millis. In that order. In Monza, in that order here as well. They don't have a Rabat behind them this time. So there's 2 drivers quicker than Skyline, which would mean that Skyline is the 14th driver. So all, provided they are, well, as long as they haven't finished, so as is current, all 12 of these drivers plus the top 2 from over there will join us. So it's Velos and Iggy. Mortal and Iggy joining us. And then we'll figure out what else is going to happen if Skyline's going to be the one to drop out. You know, 1 to 2 laps left apiece. So we are now, I'm going to give BX a little bit of help by putting that on the screen and making sure that he is able to see this while we still have time to join, while we still have time on Lobby B. Anonymous up to a 1:33.0, so Skyline might be dropping out then. That'll be a horrible, horrible thing for Project Platypus after last week, by the way, where Project Platypus had one hell of a week to get themselves back in the fight. All the top 4 separated by 15 points through first 2 races of the season. To have one drop into Lobby B would be disastrous. Yeah, the car's actually not too different, surprisingly. Not too the same. Lexus, Merc 20. We've got 2 M6s, 2 GTRs, 2 McLarens. Going further down, okay, there you go. That's where it gets more similar. That's where it gets more similar as we go down the list. That Jensen guy, yeah. And, you know. They're the reason why that Falcon are your reigning champions, and Jensen definitely is that reason. Jensen doing a absolute, just doing the entire business at this point for that team. I'm just gonna take a very quick chat into the Esports organization group. Alright, I've done that now. So that's not bad. We've still got a couple of minutes left by the looks of things. What is the second last time? The second last time is a 33.025. 33.025 and then a 32.6 for 10th. So a massive drop off from 10th to 11th. Bear in mind, to knock Alessandro and Skyline into Lobby B, there has to be 4 drivers in Lobby. There has to be 4 drivers in Lobby B that is quicker than that 33.0. Because we open this lobby into a 3.33.0 in the lobby and 32.7. It's gonna be really close for Alessandro then, isn't it? Hey, Beaumont. They're really close for Alessandro then, if that's the case, if they're 33 zeros. See how forward they are in their 33 zeros, though. 32.7 will put it, 32.7 will put them into 11th place. Now it'll be P13. Interesting. Quickest 33.0 is Alessandro. Ah, okay. They've still got a lap to go in Lobby B, have they not? Well, they're starting to wrap that up now. I'm going to very quickly change my remote because I see the flashing light. So if I mute for a second, I'm changing remote. They're finished now. Okay. Everything okay? I should be back now. Should be back now. We wait for BX to get a couple of things in here. Lobby A finished earlier. For once, so that's something you don't hear every day, isn't it? He last in Lobby A. Damn, he's snuck in. Fair enough. Rabat's gonna have to keep off the. Rabat's gonna need to just keep his foot away from the brake at turn 1 to make something happen. Oh. Oh, going back to race 1 in all its glory. I find it funny that that was the very first race to get a highlight package. I did not get a keyboard yet. No, I don't have. I just got paid Friday from my job, and I've had to pay out a couple of things at the moment. So I will look to get a keyboard potentially later on into the month if I haven't got one already that works. Might have to try my laptop with it at some point, but I don't know. I'm not very well versed into it, so if someone who knows more about that can get a hold of me, that would be appreciated. That way I can figure that out. We can have it potentially next couple of weeks. But yeah. Yeah. Don't if you aren't able to get the hold of me properly, you can either go through your Teams or you can search. I think is it HTTP Pyro? HTTP Pyro on Discord. It's either that or TG Audio 2. One of the two. I can't remember which one it's under. Yeah, I can't remember quite which one it's under at the moment. I'm waiting to see if BX has started doing his stuff. I think he's had more than enough time to gather shit from this one. Not me definitely doing that just to make sure that I've got the right ones. Definitely not doing that. Nope. Don't know what you mean. That's BX's thing anyway, so BX has got everything sorted. I need to very quickly switch this into away from qualifying so I can set the grid, do the ×1 tire speed, and we do the set by host. Everything else should be the same. Jesus. Not sure what the hell happened outside my room, but someone just Wilhelm screamed. Alright, let's have a look at what we got here then. So, in actual order is Jensen first, Aura second, Miller's third, Javi fourth, BX fifth, Snipes sixth, Catfish seventh, Rabak eighth, Mortal ninth, Dino 10th, Sidra 11th, Alessandro 12th, Anonymous 13th, and Iggy 14th. Then you've got Skyline P1 in Lobby B, Astro 7,000th of a second behind because he really likes being on the edge but not quite good enough through the first weeks of the season. He's P2 in Lobby B, Latari P3, Kyoto P4, Hollywood P5, Thunderdome P6, Wack P7, Fracas P8, Lord Hands P9, and HK P10. So, with that being said, I think we have all 14 drivers. No, we have 13 people in here so far. Let's see, who are we missing? That's all good, Dino. We've got time. I've got to set the grid anyway. Oh, who are we joined by? Who is joining us? It is Iggy. There you go. Another A+ driver joining the group. When he enters into the lobby, I will start to set this grid. So, it's Jensen, followed by Aura, followed by Millis. There he is. Followed by Javi. Where is Javi? There he is. Then it's BX and Snipes. BX. Where is Snipes? Snipes is there. After Snipes, it is Catfish, who is right below him. That's nice and easy. Then it's Mortal. Oh no, that's Rabak. Then it's Mortal. My bad. Rabak, Mortal. Then it's Dino. Yep, Syndra after that. Then Alessandro. Anonymous. Iggy, Vera GT at the back of the grid, who are just slightly trying to hang on at the moment. You can do well today, they might be able to just sneak themselves toward that top 4. I have to do something in this race to start with though. When we get a okay from Dino, I'll put the starting soon message in, and then we will go a minute or two after that, make sure everyone has their had enough time for their setups, etc, etc. Everyone understands by this point what is going on. I'm looking forward. I am looking forward to this race. There is a lot of names here that there's a lot of names with the potential to just go hammer and dong at each other the entire way. Dino and Syndra 10th and 11th is quite surprising. You know, Iggy, who's always able to do something. Alessandro, no slouch. Rabak was obviously center of attention a couple of weeks ago. Catfish is making his ALR Esports debut, so we're about to find out what he's got. They've obviously got names BX, Javi, who have been at the top of this league for a long time. And then, obviously, your mainstays where you've got Miller, Aura, and Jensen at the front. I'm looking forward to it. We're just waiting on his back message from Dino, and then we'll be good to go. My guess is probably that it's going to start somewhere around about the 22 mark. might actually be the earliest we'd have started all season. But yeah, we're just waiting on races start. We're waiting on Dino. If you can see the left-hand side of my screen, the yellow message, that's kind of what I have to deal with right now. I have to wait for an "I'm back" message at the very least to figure out what's going on. I don't think there's been anything in Discord. Yeah, there hasn't been anything in Discord, so can't really continue on with that at the moment. So we are very much just looking at the side of the screen. Apologies for the delay. So yeah, well, this is what we're looking at. This is what we're looking at for reference. For those who are wondering. I'm just looking over my phone while I'm waiting. No point. There is no point in spamming starting soon at me. It doesn't make things go quicker. I can't control how the man pees. I don't know what you want me to do. Yeah, I don't know what you want me to do. We good? Right. So we get a... now we can have the starting soon message, and we get 1 minute from here. Alright, so we will start at 39. When that hits 39, we will go. Just so that everyone's got enough time to put their setups on if they haven't already. So we'll go at 39. I don't know why I'm looking in that. That doesn't make any difference. So we'll get through here. One last check of this. That's all good. That's all good. So I think that's a start race time. And you see, 39 at the top of the screen. It's time to go. Time to get going here for round 3 of ALR Esports. Let's see what the plan is here. What are we getting out of this race? Good evening, Powerbank. Oh, this is going to start. Always, but GT always petrifies me with the starts. And there you go. Now that I can calm down a little bit with 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and here we go. It took a little bit of a time, but Aura's got away like a lightning bolt all the way to the lead straight away. It's reminiscent of Mons all over again. As he got away scot-free this time, he's a long way ahead. As we head into turn 1 with Jensen in 2nd, Millis in 3rd, Abby in 4th, Rabak has jumped to 5th straight away. And BX is off the track there in the background. Who's in 6th with Catfish in 7th and Mortal in 8th. A decent start for him as well. Yeah, blinded by the headlights for a little bit. But Rabak has gone off to a flying start, and so has Aura. Dino up into 9th. Snipes into 10th. A bad start for him, as he's dropped 3 or 4 positions so far in this race. Alessandro's still 11th. Syndra's dropped a couple as well off the start of this one. Anonymous and Iggy remain at the back of the grid. Iggy's already dropped off the back of the grid at the start of this one. Still going through. No one really crashed at the start of this one, apart from Iggy, who's dropped a couple seconds off the back. It's a great start if you're FGR, because Millicent's ahead of Jensen now. As we head into the end of the first lap, and let's have a very quick tire check, because I think that might be the split decision here. So it's softs for FGR at the front of the grid for Millicent Aura. Then you've got Jensen on the mediums in 3rd. Softs for Javi, who's going to look to the inside and doesn't get the Falcon driver there. And then we got Rabak, who is on softs as well. So there's 3 FGR drivers on the soft tyre. Javi's on the soft tyre as well for Arix. BX behind soft tyres. Catfish for Arix as well on the soft tyre. So it looks like maybe just a Falcon decision. No, Dino's there 8th on the soft tyre as well, so maybe just a Jensen decision to start on the medium tyres here. You've got the Snipes on the soft for Mortal, mediums for Sidra. So 2 of the 3 Falcon drivers are there on the medium tyres, and then mediums for Anonymous in 13th, Petit dropping off the back now, and then Iggy on soft at the back of the grid. 1 second advantage for Aura at the second time. At the second lap of this race of 41. So still a very, very long time away. Anonymous on mediums, Iggy is on soft at the back of the grid for Aero GT. Aura getting a little bit of advantage over his teammate. His teammate breaks the second gap now to Jensen as well, who's trying to defend for all his life against Javi. However, got a penalty in the back there. A second penalty he'll serve on this lap. That should drop him behind BX at the very least. That might drop him behind Catfish, who's currently sitting in 7th as well. Pit lane, the penalty is on the final lap, on the final straight, I believe. It's straight out of the final straight, so if he gets here, he's going to drop. Yeah, he's going to serve it this lap, so he's going to drop at least 2 positions. It might be the case he drops to Dino in 8th at the moment as well. So all the positions he gained off the start on the soft tyres might be about to be handed back. Let's see where he drops then. So his penalty starts now, comes off the racing line. There goes BX, there goes Catfish. I think Dino's getting him as well. Is there going to be a room for Snipes on the outside? No, there is not. So Rabak drops to 8th. Right behind Dino, who's in Falcon. So Rabat gained the position off the start, gifted them all straight back, and now he's got to make it happen all over again. Snipes is going to go after him. That's a certain into the first sector here. I'm going to go onto the board with on chase camera angle, so he's not getting blinded by headlights, and get a good shot at Snipes going after Rabat here. Mortal is also really close in, so we might include him in the angle in a split second here. Snipes again, not looking for that. That's what we're going to do. We're going to sit here. Oh, that's under the wall! It's BX! It's BX! He's in the wall! And it looks like he may have just hit too many curbs. Because that's one thing the McLaren is not good at. And it's one thing Kyoto has a lot of. BX in the wall, the mistake already, and he's last. Is that the 9PP lobby livery in the other lobby? Because oh, it's for Mortal actually. Yeah, this one. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I forgot that they actually have someone in lobby A for the first time this season. Mortal doing a good job at this point in time as well. Yeah, 15 points. Project Platypus. Oh my god. Well, there's your comment for the highlight package, audio, Ryan. That's the comment you'll be able to use. Rabak's up in the 7th after BX's mistake. Have a look at what's going on here between Javi and Jensen. Looking into this turn, obviously Jensen's on the medium tyres here. So he has to do a job of holding everyone back. He has done a fairly good job right now holding Javi back as they come down the hill. We go back into cinematic camera angle. Gives us a nice little look at Catfish having a little bit of time to himself there. Dino's got himself a little bit of a break from Rabak and company as well, fighting for 7th place. Yeah, FGR are quite frankly in a position that if Aura and Millis at the front of this grid work together, they could drive off here. They could comfortably drive off if they work together. They start getting in each other's way. It might work back towards Jensen at the end of this one, because Jensen's on the alternate strategy, remember. Jensen is on the alternate strategy to everyone else, apart from Syndra, who is his own teammate, and Anonymous, who is at the back of the grid. Minus Iggy and BX, I believe. BX is the last car there you see on the grid that's just coming around the final corner now. Oh, that didn't look too great there for Millis. That almost came off of that. He's managed to save it. Went onto the grass there just a little bit. don't want to be doing that too often. That'll play with your tyres very quickly if that happens. Javi being stuck here behind Jensen is an absolute mare for Arix. Javi needs to get by. For his own race, he needs to get by here. We've also got Catfish and Dino behind fighting. We're actually going to take a look. Actually, we're not going to take a look at that because Javi might be about to send it on the inside here. Javi finally gets past the medium tyre runner. It's taken him 5 laps. Probably 4 laps more than it should have. He finally got it. He's up in a third. He needs to get away. Dino got past Catfish as well. Rabak is right up onto the back of these two as well here in 7th, with Mortal in 8th, Snipes in 9th, who's lost ground just a little bit, Alessandro in 10th. They've got Syndra in 11th, who needs to fight his way back, but he's currently on the medium tire, so he won't be too panicked yet. You've got Iggy in 12th, Anonymous in 13th, and then BX at the back of the grid after his mistake earlier on. So 7 tenths of a second now split Aura and Miller, so they try to drive off from the front of the grid. And currently about 4 seconds between them and Javi. They currently sit in 3rd place right now, who needs to get some sort of a gap on Jensen here. The longer he tags Jensen along, the longer this is going to pain him, because he'll be spending more time looking behind than trying to fight forward. 3.6 seconds. So he is making a little bit of inroads here, on Millis in particular. He is gaining about half a second there on Jensen in that first sector as well. Again, Jensen's tyres are the harder compound of tyre in this race. At this point in time, Dino's got to run. Well, Dino's got to defend here against Catfish, who might have a run. And Rabak's there and there as well. Catfish not close enough here. He's actually going to be under fire from Rabak if Rabak can get a good exit here. Rabak does not, in any way, shape or form, get what could be considered a good exit there. And that will allow for Catfish to breathe maybe a momentary sigh of relief. Jensen's clearing these guys out even after being on the medium tyres compared to the soft, to these guys who are actually starting to wear them pretty heavily now. Dino's about to go halfway on his tyre. Catfish behind him, very similar if not worse than Dino, so those two are basically doing the exact same thing. Rabak, actually the worst of the three. That's a very interesting scenario for Rabak to be on the back of the three here. Worst tyre wear of the 3 drivers, so this might come into play later on. He might end up dropping back. We'll wait and see if Rabak's got anything left in the tank there. All the soft tyres are starting to drop off. Just that little bit. Jensen's still 8 tenths of a second behind Javi. Javi's done a very good job on his tyres so far. Look at that. Everyone, we saw the mid-pack head towards about 50% on their tyres. Javi not close to that 50% mark at the moment. That's not halfway down his bar on that front right, which is the tyre that's going to wear the most. He'd actually cleared the second of Jensen, or had done for a split second, until he messed up the second half of that chicane. 4 seconds still behind Millis, who's right on the back of Aura. Aura got better tyred than his counterpart. Aura getting a little bit slidey there on the exit of the left-hander in the 3rd sector. Yeah, definitely heading towards crossover time here. Millis might be looking for something on Aura here. This is going to get interesting, and if these two start fighting, it's going to bring Javi into this. If they've got any common sense, they work together, they might start bump drafting here to gain a little bit of an advantage. It's the team game, there's nothing wrong with that. And actually, Aura's going to let Millis go by the looks of things. Yeah, and Aura's going to let Millis go, and Millis takes the lead of the race. That looked like a teammate swap. Didn't look like there was going to be any fighting in that one. So Millis is now going to have the opportunity to try and break away. And if he can't break away, then he's just going to drag Millis further away, drag Aura further away from Javi if he can. Javi's still doing a good job to keep it as it was. It's only 6 tenths of a second now between him and Jensen, though. Those two tyres, surprisingly, not that much different between Javi's McLaren and Jensen And I think that's a Lexus. Yeah, that is a Lexus. The giant L on the front of the car would probably tell me that. Dino 3 seconds there behind Jensen. Doing a decent job of getting a gap for his teammate. Bearing in mind it's FGL 1-2 at the moment. Then it's Arik 3 and 6. And then Falcon 4 and 5. It's been a bad day at the office for Project Platypus, who are going to drop off substantially after this race as it stands. Tyres just do not look good for the three at all. Look at that. These three tyres are dropping off drastically, and you look at Javi's and it's significantly better on all four tyres. McLaren has obviously a better wear, more of its wear is on the rears, depending on how you drive the car. So probably a better place to be here, actually, in terms of its tyre wear. The rest of those soft runners in 5th, 6th and 7th for tyres are falling off the edge of the planet. Yeah, Millis has done... Oh, what happened here? Yeah, you might be right. Millis has had an issue. Millis is now 2 seconds behind Aura. Not entirely sure what's happened there. Millis has definitely made a mistake. That doesn't look like any teammate overtake, that's for certain. Aura's now got a 2 second advantage again. The bad news this is for Millis is that's half the gap to Javi. That's the bigger thing. That's half the gap to Javi here. So if Javi can get his foot on the gas, he might be able to catch it back up. You're going to have to do something, though, because that gap does not seem to be closing below the 2 second mark. Millis has got a lot of pace tonight. Javi got a second away from Jensen. These three are still fighting, but Rabak's dropped back. Rabak has dropped back, and his tyres are so much worse than the rest of the grid. Mortal, look at him behind, for example. Mortal's got maybe twice as much tyre wear, maybe a little bit more than that, actually, than what Rabak's got right now. And then Alessandro behind that's on the same level as Mortal. This might be a move ready to be primed here for the 9PP driver. The Pegasus driver might be able to get himself involved just a little bit. The third Falcon driver currently in 10th is Syndra. It looks like Rabak's into the pit. There goes Rabak into the pit. There goes Dino into the pit as well. So one pit stop apiece here for Falcon and for FGR. Mortal and Alessandro will continue to go at it. They're 6th and 7th for now. Bearing in mind, if they, well, I reckon Arix would take it ending like this. 3-5-7. I reckon they would take that if you had handed that to them at the beginning of the day for certain. Is that a West Ham? That a West Ham badge in their livery? That's what I'm looking at. Not sure if it is. Look, I just see Hammer. I just see that kind of badge. It immediately reminds me of West Ham. But yeah, 4/10 of a second that split these two. These two doesn't look like there's going to be any sort of a move here unless there's a mistake. Doesn't look like there's going to be a mistake. Mortal doing enough to hold on for just a little while longer. Let's have a look. Oh, Javi and Jensen! They're fighting here! Javi and Jensen are fighting right now! Is Javi going to be able to hold this? Looking to the inside! Still on the inside against Jensen, does not hold it. Jensen gets by and up in a third again, and the tyres are just swinging back. Even though Jensen's got a decent amount of tyre wear compared to Javi as well, it's just the rears are significantly worse for Javi right now, and that's what's giving Jensen the chance to fight back. Miller's 4 seconds ahead of Jensen and 2 seconds behind Aura, and those two have driven off again. In comes Catfish, as he was about to run out of tyres. Mortal stays out, Alessandro stays out. Syndra stays out, as he's still on his medium tyres. It seems to be a fairly decent start, strategy-wise here, for Falcon. Anonymous is still out on his mediums as well. Dino's got ahead. Dino stayed ahead of Rabak. 3.4 seconds is the gap between those two. Where are they going to come out in reference to Catfish? That's the question now. Out comes Dino. Dino was on the medium tyres. Came out off of his pit stop onto mediums. Rabak went onto mediums as well. Catfish onto mediums is 2 seconds behind Rabak. So they both stay ahead. I think they actually jumped Catfish on the lap less of the pit stop there. BX is off of his first set of tyres as well. Iggy and Snipes have both done their first stops earlier on in this race. It's Mortal behind Alessandro now. So Alessandro able to make that move up into 5th egos. And this is going to be very interesting because Alessandro now gets the chance to clear Mortal just a little bit with whatever tyres left. But they've also got Syndra to contest with because Syndra's on a medium tyre here. But bear in mind, he'll be on the opposite strategy to what is currently being run by the rest of the grid, over into the pits. Millis is not going to join him. Doesn't look like Javi and Jensen have it either. Who else is going to join him in the pits here? None of the three we're currently watching. Alessandro, Mortal, and Syndra all stay out. What about Anonymous further back? Anonymous further back stays out as well. Is he going to be able to drive his way out in front of Aura? He is. Aura now onto the medium tyres, well out ahead of Dino in 9th. Comfortably out ahead of Dino in 9th. There's about 7 seconds, that gap. That gap's coming down quite drastically, actually, as we continue on in the first in that first sector between the two of them at this point in time. So Miller stayed out, hasn't gone in yet. Jensen still on his first set of medium tyres. Javi hasn't gone in either, and Millis and Javi both start on the soft tyre. They both have a very substantial gap to Alessandro in 4th on the soft as well. So we'll figure out where Aura is going to factor into all this as in the pit stops, and that is going to be probably a bigger frame of reference for FGR than anything else, because that will probably see if they can hold on to this 1-2. I would assume that there's going to be another medium tyre potentially going on the car of Jensen when they go into this pit stop here. When they do eventually go into this pit stop, I don't know if Alessandro's got one more lap in him. Jensen probably did, but didn't go in, but still goes in anyway. Javi stayed out, so Javi's going to go the one more. Alessandro's in, Mortal in, Syndra stayed out one more. Let's have a look at what Aura's doing here then. Aura's catching right up to Anonymous, still 5.5 seconds ahead of Dino. This is where we get to figure out how close anyone is to Aura at this point in time. Millis onto the medium tyres. There's Jensen and Millis. And Jensen's got onto softs with less than half a tank. And he's undercut, well, technically, undercut both of them. He's gone in, but he's put less fuel. So he's done a little bit different. A different strategy here for Jensen. Onto the softs, less fuel. Millis has gone onto mediums with more than half fuel. Same did Aura on the prior lap. And that becomes very interesting, because now Jensen, on the alternate strategy, is going to get the lead of this race. He's going to get the lead of this race here. Go to the end. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's still at least one more pit stop. There's probably 2 more pit stops from here, to be completely honest with you. There's no way they're going to the end here. No way. But yeah, it's just false. There's no way they're going to the end. Not even entertaining the idea. Javi's into the pits now then. Syndra should not be able to go much longer. He hasn't done his pit stop yet. He's in. Anonymous is doing very well on the fuel saving right now, but unfortunately for him, he's already comfortably off the back of the group. But he's going to technically be in the lead of a ALR Esports race here. And he is. There you go. He's going to lead an Esports race. Anonymous, albeit won't be for very long, has got something to hang his hat on in this race. Here comes Jensen with Aura. Here we go. Jensen to the inside. And Jensen's got Aura on the softer tyres there. And Jensen technically takes the net lead of this one. And he's going to get himself ahead of the FGR boys. This is going to be where strategy is going to play a massive role. We're not going to be able to tell you who's properly in the lead of this race for another, what, maybe 20 laps at this point. And Jensen's going to look to the outside of Anonymous. These are fighting for position technically. And Jensen makes it look easy. Aura's going to try and follow through the hole. He needs to do it. Doesn't get through the hole. Anonymous just going to place his car where he needs to place it. Aura is stuck behind him right now until Anonymous goes deep. Anonymous goes deep, and Aura should be able to just drive on through. It has done with relative ease there. Now let's see if there's going to be anything else at the front of this grid. Millis is going to try and get Anonymous here potentially before he goes into his pit stop, because Anonymous, I can only assume he's going for his pit stop now. Alexis gets at least 1 mile lap of fuel, so it might be a game changer later on. No, he stayed out. He stayed out. Millis is going to have to pass him on track. It shouldn't be too difficult for Millis, but he is going to have to pass him. And that makes Anonymous a little bit of a nuisance right now. And he stays to the inside, and Millis makes easy work of that in the second half of the corner there. Javi on softs again, and he's currently down in 6th after his overcut. Did not really pan out here. Now Javi currently is 6th down there behind Dino. We'll see. Yeah, Dino's just going to try and catch up as much as he can to Anonymous. Anonymous already dropping quite heavily off the back of Millis and company at the front. Yeah, I think that is going to be any chance of holding ground gone. Jensen's 1.5 seconds out in the lead. Obviously, he is on the softer tyre though, so when this comes later on, when they go on to another set of tyres later on, they might just go on to mediums, and then we'll see who's got the pace then. We'll see if there's going to be any change to this. Millis is right on the back of Aura again. Those two been head and tail the entire race, apart from Millis' spin. And Jensen just extended that gap as well, the longer we go. Anonymous staying out again. That Lexus tank is a lot crazier than I thought it was, that's for certain. This man is milking this tank for all he can get, that's for certain. Trying to do as long as he can go. On that medium tyre, I guess he's going to try two-stopping then. Here comes Dino. Well, Dino's still about half a second up, sorry, against Javi. Raback 3.3 seconds further back on there, 2 seconds ahead of Alessandro. Catfish went on to mediums with half a tank. Alessandro went on to softs. Mortal right behind Catfish. And he's trying to figure out where everyone's going to shake out here. It's an absolute chess match. Trying to figure out what they are doing. Sidra went on to a second set of medium tyres, which may indicate an attempt at a two-stop here for Sidra. Wait and see. Iggy's there at 12th. Snipes a really bad day at the office. I don't think it could be much worse here for Project Platypus, can it? 30th and 40th on the grid right now. Their third driver's got stuck in Lobby B. And all the work they had done undoing the mistakes at Monza have essentially just come undone straight away. It's going to be interesting. I think it might be doable 12 on a very low tank. And there you go, that's Anonymous into the pits, finally. There was never going to be a way you could actually do any more here. 1.3 seconds split Alessandro and Raback. Javi and Dino are going at it. Javi and Dino are going at it here. Are they going to be able to make any sort of spectacle out of this one whatsoever in the first sector? Dino doing enough right now on the medium tires to hold Javi back, and he knows this feeling, Javi, because he's just stopped it. He's just felt it, sorry, with Jensen. It's been one Falcon on the first stint. It's another Falcon that he's doing it against in the second stint. We'll have a look at what Anonymous is going on to in a minute after this one. If he's doing a one-stop, it'd have to be hard. So I would imagine it's a two-stop, medium, medium, soft. The only thing that would make sense. Here comes Javi on the inside. Can he get past Dino? Looking to make sure it doesn't last as long as it did against Jensen. We're not getting a good camera angle of that whatsoever. Snap there from Dino. It still allows for Javi to be inside. They're still there. Still side by side on the way through. And he kept it. The Falcon driver has kept it pretty nicely there. Javi still trying to force his way through on the inside of the final corner here. Oh, I didn't think he contacted him. He has. It was a great defense right up till there. Javi made contact. And he's let him, yeah, he has. He saw it straight away. He's let Dino back through. Let him back through straight away. That's going to be Raback into this now. And Alessandro for good measure. Alessandro right now not that far off the back of Raback. He's closing at each corner. Aura, it's still ahead of Millis, but they are losing ground fairly rapidly on Jensen at this point. Catfish still in his own little world at the moment. Syndra ahead of Mortal now. Syndra up into 9th, ahead of Mortal. And then you got Iggy at 11th. Anonymous came out on soft tyres. So it looks like it'll definitely be a 2-stop strategy for him. BX is pitted again off of the medium tyres here, which is a very interesting choice. One stop technically doable, I wouldn't actually try it in any world. You're not doing medium soft stop from here. There's still 23 laps of this race. It would be very difficult. Soft tires are going to dry. The soft tires wear fairly quickly here. I mean, it is doable. It's doable actually. Just the soft tires are going to feel a little bit worse for wear, I reckon, as it goes along. And we got Mortal still 8 tenths of a second behind Syndra for now. Not really going to have an awful lot happening there. Javi's ahead of Dino again. Javi has finally got back ahead of Dino, and I assume this is going to be a way, he's done it in a way that he isn't actually going to make any contact this time. So Javi got himself up in a 4th. He absolutely been held up by both the Falcon drivers he's experienced fights with so far in this race. He now needs to drive away. He needs to get away, and he needs to do it soon. As soon as he can get it, going to hang his tyre there on the inside, get himself as caught as he can. Dino not doing the same. Those two are still relatively packed together. I think I saw someone change position there potentially, I'm not entirely sure. Aura and Millis are right behind each other right now. We'll go very quickly to take a look at that after we see Javi getting away from Dino. He has done there with a little bit of an advantage. That gap still 2.6, so it's not increasing much more than the 2.6 that Jensen's got right now, but that's still a fairly convincing gap if they end up on the same strategy here. I think it might be medium tyres for all 3 cars going on when they go into their final stints here. 8 seconds is going to be too much for Javi to catch. Way too much for Javi to catch. Apologies for having to mute there. Got a 6 tenths of a second, 7 tenths of a second now splitting Javi and Dino, and it's starting to get an advantage here. Getting an advantage for a little bit. For Javi, and Dino saves it. It almost looked like he was starting to lose it there, but he's kept it together just enough. He is sliding around now. Oh, and he's touching grass as well. Starting to lose control of the car a little bit here, the Falcon driver. Javi has now gained the second advantage that he needs to get out of slipstream. The issue is for Javi being able to catch is that he's left it far too late into his stint, realistically, on those soft tyres to really make inroads. He's almost halfway on his tyres already. We know that this is the point where the softs are starting to, well, the softs start to fall away just a little bit. So it's going to be a case of him holding it together. I don't think he's got any real chance of catching up to the front. Miller, Sora and Jensen have been a little bit away at the moment. Yeah, Alessandro from toward the back, 12th to 6th at the moment, doing a good job of it. Rabak is right up to him now though. And that might have been the other way round and Rabak dropped the position, but well, that is what that is. Yeah, half a second split those two. Alessandro on the soft though, where mediums for Rabak. Alessandro will have to go to mediums for his final stint then. That's where he's going to start swinging back to some of these drivers. Alessandro just starting to hold that gap there. Let's have a look further back. We've got any sort of bike snipes. Has got Snipes and Anonymous are going at it in that first sector. And we'll go back to Aura at the front, see if he started a catch. Is there going to be any sort of move here for Anonymous? Looking to the inside, potentially could have gone for that. Decided not to. Gets a little bit wide there. In the end of the second sector. Lost all that time. He's currently held up by his snipes, and we're going to go to the front. So, 8/10 of a second. You're not wrong when you say you're catching. 8/10 of a second now. Split the FGR drivers and Jensen. And in comes Jensen to the pits. Off the soft tyres comes He's had no soft tyre left. Jesus. No fuel, no soft tyre. Got everything out of the car there. Turnover point, well, it reached a little bit of time ago by the looks of things, and also they're splitting away from Javi. So that's definitely turnover point reached. As the whole, well, the soft tyres here. Javi sliding his car around. I would assume this is a medium tyre for Jensen. I don't really see a world where it's not going to be. We're doing medium, soft, medium at this point in time. Let's see, has he come out? He has come out in 10th. It is mediums. It is mediums for Jensen. He come out in 10th. Got a little bit of clean air, but I can't imagine that lasting too long before he catches up to Mortal and to his teammate in Syndra. We'll see whether or not there's anything to do with anything that's going to happen from Jensen here. He's about 8/10 of a second ahead of Iggy, and that might add up. Iggy's got maybe a little bit worse tyres to actually do anything about that, to be honest with you. We're going to have a look a little bit further forward, see if there's any sort of gaps developing. Javi's got 1.2 on Dyno now, so that gap has well and truly opened up. Alessandro is opening up that gap on Rabak. His tyres aren't going to last too much longer, so if he's going to catch Dino, he needs to do it. Oh, Dino, sorry, he's going to have to do it relatively soon. No, pit, there you go. There's the pit stop for Dino as he goes into the pits. 3.2 seconds between Alessandro and Javi there. Those two are teammates. That's not particularly an uncatchable gap, potentially, for Alessandro, honestly. But 9.3 between Javi and Millis absolutely is, by the way. That gap is open, not closed. The FGR boys are in cruise control of at least 2 podium spots right now. Albeit one of them has already had a spin in this race, so they're not completely error-free. We got Aura, yeah, so Aura's about half second in the lead right now. These two won't fight each other if they've got any common sense. They know Jensen's just gone onto a medium tyre realistically. There's no way he'd get to the end from here otherwise. They know they need to go a little while longer. If they want to go on to a soft, if they want to go to a second set of mediums, then they're fine to go in whenever. It's just a case of whether or not what the strategy is going to be here. So they're going to continue to stay out. We're going to see that Alessandro really isn't catching Javi by any means, but he is opening up to Rabak. At 3.9 seconds, Rabak just not really using much against Alessandro here, albeit Alessandro's on the softer compounded tyre. Would like to make that known. So that's always going to happen. But Raback did that corner a little bit better, and that gap just started to close just a little bit. Catfish 2 seconds behind Raback at the moment. Those two tyres are fairly similar. Sindra a lot better on his tyres. A little bit more fuel than Catfish as well. So I would assume that Sindra's going to start catching up to the Arex driver the longer this lasts. Jensen's up into 8th now, so he got Mortal and I think Dino Pit. Yeah, Dino Pit. So did Snipes. So it's softs for Dino, which I can only assume that means there's a 2-stop. No, he's gone more than half a tank of fuel. He's going to go to the end here on softs. Well, that could be interesting. I don't know if you're going to be able to do that. We'll see where he gets out, where he gets to here, because I'm now very intrigued with his strategy. He's currently done soft, medium, soft, though he's sliding just a little bit through the chicane. Jensen's cleared Mortal, almost. 2.2 behind his own teammate. You'd imagine that his teammate isn't going to be too much of a roadblock. Oh, he's kept that together. I'm not entirely sure how he's managed to keep that car together. It looked like he was drifting away there. He's managed to turn it back centre. And he'd done it fairly well. 1.8 behind Sidra. So in all of that, he caught up. Alessandro has now gone off of his soft tyre. He was on the soft to start with. Did 12 on the second set of softs, I believe, as well. Which would mean that he's on to mediums for the end of this one. We'll see if that is true. See where he comes down in a minute as well. Catfish is catching Raback at quite an alarming pace now. Those two aren't going to be able to stay out much longer. They've basically got identical, a lot of everything, apart from the fuel. So this is Raback's final lap before pit stop. Catfish is going to try and catch up, probably going to go one more. Oh, he slided the car! He's just about got control of it again. Just about doing enough. Is staying within a second, or had stayed within a second of Raback for a split second there. Gets into this left-hander and is just outside of that second range. He is caught back up there. That chicane helped him out rather than Raback. In comes Javi into the pit stop, so it'll be his final stop now. In comes Raback, in comes Catfish. Interesting, so Raback had no fuel whatsoever. There is fuel in both Javi and Catfish's car, you would imagine. But that's going to level Raback and Catfish out even further. So staying out is Jensen and Sindra. So Jensen's going to use Sindra here a little bit to try and get some slipstream, I think. Javi out ahead of Dino for a split second. Can he get it round turn 1? Oh, he somehow kept that. A little bit of Tokyo drifting round turn 1, which is apt because we're in Japan. And he has managed to keep that car together there. Never had any control of that slide whatsoever. Even though you ask him, he absolutely will say he did. Well then, Javi out after his final stop. We know that Dino's... there's no way he's going to the end here. There's no way. This has to be a 3-stop for Dino at this point. Those tyres are not lasting remotely close to another 15 laps. Or into the pits here. So Jensen gets past Sindra as well. It's starting to get a little bit foggy here in the night at Kyoto. Miller stayed out one more. Potentially a risk they can take. Here comes Jensen to the line now. So this is the interesting part of everything. What tyre is Aura going on to? And whereabouts are they going to come out in respect to in respect to Jensen here. It's a medium tyre and he's out behind Mortal. Okay, so Jensen has an advantage. Aura's tyres are going to be fresher. You can have a little bit of better time coming towards the end of this race. But they are both going to the end. Gap looking about 4 seconds. The undercut working for Jensen just a little bit there. It might end up working for Millis as well. Working for Jensen against Millis as well. Syndra still trying to hang on to the back of his teammate to use him in any way, shape or form. Mortal's 2.8 seconds off the back of these two. Aura got out ahead of Dino, but Dino's out ahead. Dino's currently ahead of Javi, which is the main thing here. Medium tyres though for that McLaren compared to softs on Dino's car, so we know Dino's got to pit again. And I reckon that's what's got Javi relatively not worried. In comes Millis into the pits now then. A little bit further forward. Aura's currently being held up by Mortal. We head into the final couple of corners on the lap. Aura's got fresh tyres, remember. Mortal's about to go into the pits. He's got no real control over his car there either. Mortal, he just takes the outside line, doesn't really defend it, allows Aura through. In comes Millis. In comes Syndra. Millis is out. I think he might be out well ahead of his teammate as well. He is. So Millis is going to try and go a little bit longer on less fuel than the Merc. And Millis has got a shot here. He's going to be on significantly better tyres than Jensen. About 3 or 4 tyres better, laps better tyres here. So the chance now no longer lies with Aura, but it does lie with Millis. And after making the comments last week that saying that FGR missed him at Blue Moon, he might be about to put that evidence all of that here at Kyoto. 1.9 seconds now, split the FGR driver and the Falcon driver at the front of the grid. Mortal 7 tenths behind Aura as Mortal stayed out one more. Dino's still ahead of Javi. They got Alessandro 3 seconds off the back of Javi. That gap's starting to come down just a little bit. Yeah, that gap is just starting to come down a little bit. Dino also looking a little bit under threat. And his soft tyres have started to wear. They're now under half on the tyre wear, so he is going to start dropping off the pace just a little bit. This will allow Javi back into this fight here as they look for 4th. Javi should still get 4th fairly comfortably. Mortal now into the pits. These guys are staying out. Alessandro is closing Javi another half second since the last time we were here. Rabak's about a second ahead of Catfish. So that's going to be an interesting battle come the end of this one as well. Whether or not Aritz can steal a couple of points off FGR or not. Mortal about to come out the pits. He's going to come out ahead of Iggy. So 10th for Mortal right now. Still nothing in changing in behind their Ferra GT or Project Platypus, who are having awful days at the office. It's 1.6 seconds now between Millis and Jensen. Bear in mind they're on the same tyres. They're both going to the end. It's going to come to Millis right at the end of this race. If it's going to happen, it's probably going to happen within the last 3 or 4 laps of this race when Jensen's tyres start to fall off the edge of that cliff. You see, look, that's Jensen just about to reach the halfway mark on his front right. His tyres about to start dropping in pace. And when they do, that'll open the door for Millis. He's got a few laps to respond at that point. Right now, Jensen actually opened the gap there at the end of the prior lap. At the end of lap 29, Jensen just opened the door a little bit. Oh, Millis almost dropped it again! He dropped it earlier in this race. He can't afford to drop it now. The win lies in his hands. It's his opportunity realistically at this point. He's got to start chasing Jensen down. .33 concurrent actually makes it one of the better streams we've had so far, especially this season. We usually hit about 30. It's been pretty consistent. It's actually really nice to see. But yeah, Aura's starting to close in just a little bit on Millis as well, about a 10.5 here, a 10.5 there. I'll start adding up eventually, same for Millis with Jensen here. He got it back down to 1.6. He seems to have a better middle sector of the lap, but right now he really can't get that final sector in and about at all, and you can see it again. Aura, Dinos, yeah, you got Dino and Javi looking for a little bit of a switchback attempt here. Can he get him? Dino's still got a pit, so it's relatively irrelevant for the rest of the race. But contact, if there is any, will spice it up with Alessandro trying to chase on the background. And Dino stays all in front there. And that'll bring Alessandro just a little bit closer to his teammate. They'll be fighting for 5th sooner rather than 4th sooner rather than later, because that tyre is not going to the end. There is no fooling anybody. That tyre is not going any further than lap 33. Going through. Syndra, it's still 1.1 there. Catfish, yeah, still exactly as he was prior. About 9/10 as he was the last time we saw it against Rabak. Mortal still 5 seconds further off the back of that, but he's on soft tyres now. Might be able to get onto the back of this as we head toward the end of this one. Over back, nothing really sticking at all in the final 4. Yeah, Rabak just able to eke out enough of a gap here against Catfish. Those two flicking in and out of that 1 second mark. I'm more interested in seeing Millis at the front. Yep, he is closer. Alessandro and Syndra as well, also a lot closer than they were prior, so maybe Alessandro might be trying to get himself onto the back of Javi just to protect himself from Syndra behind. Javi's going straight after Dino again. We'll look at the front in a split second, looking after this chicane. Javi doesn't really have much of a go off here. Is Dino staying out? That's the real question I want to know now. Those tyres look like they're about to fall off a cliff. And the answer is no, he didn't. Alright, so Dino makes his pit stop to end this one. 0.6 of a second. It's the gap between Millis and Jensen right now. That tyre's not going to the end. Jensen's tyre is not going to the end here. Not remotely close. Oh no. Oh, he's absolutely bullied his front right. He's gonna have to pit. He's gonna have to pit. He's gonna have to get a long way back from here. That pit stop is gonna do him a decent chunk. It might actually bring him behind Javi, you know. In comes Millis to try and take the lead of the race for FDR. Slides his car so he's not getting it there. Every single time it just opens up enough for Millis. He just dropped the car a little bit. Again, just a little bit on the inside there. Actually, yeah, you're right. Even if it is planned, it's not a good idea. That two-stop looks significantly better in this race. If you can do it, obviously. Jensen, right, 12 on the 12% fuel on the medium tyres coming off that, so it's going to be soft to go on the end of his tyre, on the end of his car here. The real question now is whether or not he's getting out ahead of Javi. He needs the clean air. He's not getting out ahead of Javi here. He isn't. Is he getting out ahead of Alessandro now? He might, you know. He is going to get out ahead of Alessandro, who's got Syndra for company. So Jensen's out ahead of Alessandro, onto the soft tyres with Javi in front of him. So it's FGR, then FGR, and then it's Arix Falcon at the moment. And then FGR in 7th, so it's a great daily office for FGR. Catfish needs to get himself in front just to put a little bit dent in the point, swing it back Arix's way. Here we go, so Syndra actually lost a couple of attempts on Alessandro this lap. The dirty air getting to him just a little bit. Rabak is not going to get anywhere near these four. So it is just going to be a case of whether or not what happens in this group of 4 for that bottom step of the podium. Jensen's probably going to be the odds-on favourite for this because he is on the soft tyres. Well, let's see if there's going to be anything out of the straight here. It's a good exit here for Jensen. I don't think Harry's got much shot here. If he doesn't get him now, just get him into the end of the first sector. You can see that little bit of a look. That little bit of a look from Jensen to indicate that he wants to get by as soon as he can. I'll have a look at Dino in a minute because he was in 4th and then he pitted again off the softs, remember. So he was already quite distant to the way back. Is there going to be a move into the middle here? Jensen looks, backs out of it. Harry does enough to defend. That's all this is going to be for a long time. Harry's going to try and return the favour from the beginning of this race. And again, nothing doing here for Jensen into the chicane. A little bit of contact and Harry's going to stay in front. Nothing happening for Syndra either. 7/10 of a second split those two. Looks like Happy just doing enough to defend again. Every corner he goes by is another shot. The Jensen losing time on the FGR boys at 1 and 2. He is 80 seconds off the back of Miller, so there's no real hope of winning this race. And it goes around the outside. Happy's got the inside line. It's a much better line. But the exit might be great for Jensen. And he's now going to swing it all the way to the outside. And he gets a better exit. And nice momentum to carry him through. And up ahead of Javi into P3. That is realistically as good as he's going to get. The two FGR boys might end up fighting for the lead of this race. A little bit of a slide there through turn 1. Nothing going for Syndra against Alessandro right now. Syndra's having a bit of an issue. Syndra's not getting to the end of this race. Syndra's definitely not getting to the end of this race. Yeah, that is going to be really unfortunate. Alessandro's going to hold that position down. It's going to give Rabak and Catfish a position apiece as well. Because he's going into the end of this lap. He doesn't really have much of a choice. Alessandro is getting away. He's got his teammate only 1.6 seconds up the road, so he's not exactly done here either. Last week we saw a Ferrari strategy-esque call from FGR at Blue Moon that screwed them out of a win. We might be seeing an equivalent from Falcon tonight. Ahmed's going to get back and wonder what the hell happened. He's gone for 2 days. Rabak still 9/10 of a second ahead of Catfish. That seems to be the gap eternal for these guys. Mortal 3.5 seconds further back after that, and Dino still in 10th. It's going to the end. Going to try and catch Mortal before the end of this race, but they're both on soft tyres. They're trying to catch Rabak and Catfish ahead. Syndra now into the pits, so Syndra's going to drop behind both of them. 85.4 seconds there as well, and Anonymous just hasn't really done a lot of anything since early in the race. And neither of Snipes or BX either. No real recovery for either driver. Yeah, Syndra still comfortably ahead of Anonymous. Let's see if we got any closer battles. Rabak and Catfish are still the same. Everyone else is just kind of as they were. This is the closest battle we have, I guess. Let's see if Raback can hold off Catfish. Catfish has got a little bit more fuel, but they both have basically identical tyres. This is all about driver skill. They're genuinely all about the skill now. Who's got the better? Who has got the better drive to finish in 6th place? 136 currently for FGR. That will take them very comfortably. Actually, not very comfortably, because Arix are also 4, 5, and 7, but it'll take them into the lead of the championship. That's a certain. Might end up turning Arix and FGR a little bit loose from the rest of the pack. Kyoto dominating lobby B is an interesting one. Aero GT getting something going at the very least. Catfish again. This first sector seems to be his wheelhouse, where he gets himself a little bit closer. And then he gets to this middle part of the track and drops off quite substantially off of Raback. So he's got to get one of these right. He's got to get one of these right if he wants to get past Raback at any point here. Bearing in mind that this would be a swing, points to Arix and points away from FGR as well. P1's equivalent, I think it's like 9th, 8th or 9th in this lobby. Pretty sure. If I remember right, I'm pretty sure it's like 8th or 9th in equivalent. Iggy's up in the 9th. Iggy's just overtaken Dino, who spun! Dino spun and he's dropped it! He's dropped to 11th now. Sidra's got a position. It's his own teammate, but so it's Iggy jumped into 9th as well. Go back to Catfish and Raback. They don't really have much of anything else coming in. The issue is they have to be in the top 5 by the end of week 6 for the title charge to be incoming. They're going to have to do something special after that start of the season. But yeah. But we all knew what Misfits were about when we came into this season. I'm impressed that they've actually stuck it in, to be honest with you. Here we go, Raback. Still ahead of Catfish, but they are just about to get a little bit closer now. Raback's losing the grip, losing the time. It was 7/10 of a second this time on the last lap. It's now 3/10 of a second. Catfish is a lot closer. He still needs to get it right. He still needs to continuously get it right. I'm not entirely sure what has happened to the car in front. Alessandro, I think, losing it just a little bit here. Him and Javi dropping a little bit further back. Jensen's 7 seconds up the road now. Not entirely sure what happened to these two. Something very clearly did. Catfish, just again, that middle sector not doing anything as BX actually being lagged in the background. BX being lapped by 6th and 7th. And that is how you can tell you've had a really bad day at the office, isn't it? Raback has managed this lap well. He got himself back to that 8/10 of a second advantage. Managed it exceptionally well here. It's again not a great exit here for Catfish. As we continue on here, he's just not getting close enough, is he? But yeah, it's better than blinding by the cinematic camera angle on this one. So we're just going to stick with the third person camera. It's nice to watch it this way. Probably be back to full camera length next week with Road Atlanta. It's still going on. Sorry about that. It's needing like a man right now. But yeah, They follow in a day cycle, so the next one is early dawn at Road Atlanta, and then it'll be dawn, early morning, late morning, then afternoon, I think, ends it at Spa. Well, as much of a early night cycle I can do at Spa. But yeah, it's about 9/10 of a second here between Raback and Catfish still. Catfish has really not got into this at all. He had a moment where he was about 3/10 and he got really close, and that might have been his opportunity, you know. By the looks of it, if that's the case, it's opportunity squandered. Iggy and Sidra are fighting it out now. Falcon needs the extra points. Falcon needs Sidra at the very least to get Iggy, and potentially Dino to try and force something as well. Let's have a look. Is there a move for Sidra on the outside for ninth? Round the outside he goes on Iggy. And he is going to get it. He is going to get Iggy here. He's going to offer him a lot of space in the process, but he is going to get it. Iggy might fight this back. P1. I don't really think there's going to be an awful lot fighting there for P1, to be honest with you. Millis and Horror are just going to stay as they are. We got T1. Nice one there for Sidra on the outside of turn 1. And then finishes it by the end of the first sector. It's a pretty nice doing there. Catfish has dropped out the second. Now that should be game over. We go to the front. Yeah, Millis is actually gapping over about 4 seconds now. The gap. Millis has had a cruise control of this race so far. Yeah, no real opportunities for a move happening at this point. Sidra's very much far behind on turn the Mortal, so he isn't going to be able to do anything, so he's going to just stick it out and finish above Iggy, which he will do because of the tyre advantage. The rest of everyone else is very much on their own right now, which means we are going to kind of stick it out here at the front of the grid and wait for something else to happen. There's one more check. Yeah, we're just going to stick it out at the front of the grid and see what happens here at the end of this one. 4 seconds of gap. I don't really see anything happening unless Millis is going to drop this. So, with that being said, last week, Millis was very vocal in the chat. He was the one pointing out that last week, FGR may have got it wrong. They may have got the strategy wrong. They were missing him. He said all these things last week, and he got the chance to prove it this week at Kyoto. And he very much, with a quarter to go, has proved them right. Millis has been in control of this one. He has dropped in the beginning of the race, but since then has put the pace together. And FGR have absolutely cruised it. They haven't been at the top of the lead, at the top of the championship, but they might be now as Millis wins in Kyoto. And Aura's going to take home second. 1-2 for FGR and a massive shift in the Constructors' Championship. Jensen coming over the line, the best driver for Falcon today gets third. Javi is going to get fourth. Javi going to get fourth, so that's the top driver for Arix there, who were the championship leaders. Alessandro fifth from 12th is a great day for him. Radback holding on against Catfish for 6th, and Catfish ends 7th. Mortal is in 8th right now, just over a second ahead of Sidra, so one more lap is all Sidra needed, but he doesn't get it. Sidra gets 9th, Iggy gets 10th. Dino, after his drop, absolutely did not, fumbled it. Absolutely fumbled this race with his strategy and then his spin. Ending in 11th. Anonyma currently in 12th. As we roll on through, Anonyma gets 12th there, and then Snipes in 13th for what is just a awful day at the office here for Project Platypus. 13th, 14th for the lapped car. It doesn't look like Skyline had a particularly fun race either. And what was a great day at Blue Moon has absolutely fell apart here in Kyoto. On the other side of the world, They get an opposite result. And it'll drop them far away from the contenders again. And that is the end of week 3. So we are halfway through the first phase in ALR Esports. And I think FGR has just taken a little bit of initiative, a little bit of advantage with their 1-2 tonight. Jensen gets the fastest lap as well, so not all is lost for Falcon. After all that, we'll see the lead. We'll see if FGR's got a substantial lead over Arix now, because that is the two teams that seem to be fighting tooth and nail for the championship through 3. With that being said, I will see you guys this time next week. Same time, same place, same channel for Road Atlanta. And I hope you guys all join us then. Appreciate every single person who came out to join us tonight. Appreciate the chat input. Been very active. And never usually that active, but it's been very active tonight. And I will see you guys next week.